What's going on YouTube? It's Dave's Daily Trades back at it again with another video. And of course, today we are going to be covering AMC. So hope you all had a good weekend. Happy Monday to everyone. In today's video, we're going to be going over the SEC report for our favorite hedge fund, very sarcastic, Citadel Securities. We're going to be going over the changes in institutional ownership for AMC. And then, of course, going through Ren Tech, the big hedge fund that is actually one of the greatest performing hedge funds out there. They just took a pretty large position in AMC. And then, of course, I hope you all have seen this, NSCC 005 approved and accelerated. But first, we are going to start off with a quick technical analysis for AMC. So for today, actually a very good trading day. And we're just going to zoom out of the chart here. So started off right off the bat, green push all the way. We came up and broke this resistance that we were talking about yesterday at $35. And the beautiful thing I like to see is, yes, we did have one failed rejection, but we had 1, 2, 3 confirmations to confirm this as support and then continued the trend higher. I know after hours we're down 0.53%, but as long as we can hold that 35 range in after hours and in pre-market tomorrow, I do not see any problem with continuing the push higher and higher. And then our next resistance, of course, is at that $40 range. So we do have quite the area to trade in over here. But of course, I think this bullish momentum is really going to stay with us for the next several weeks. And we'll jump into that reason why. So just want to cover the one-day chart real quick. As you can tell, I've been tracking this wedge pattern for literally quite some time now. So really the greatest thing is we have had 4 higher lows the past day. The past week and a half here now. So this is really good to see, and it really just shows that the bullish momentum is coming back in favor for AMC. And of course, the big thing that everyone is talking about is this MACD crossover. So of course, one thing I want to kind of point out is, guys, this is not something that happens overnight, and we're going to see AMC have another day like we did on June 2nd. No. So when we actually first had this MACD crossover, it was right over here, just about the beginning of May. It took a little bit of time for momentum to actually come into play here, but once it did, and once the volume really picked up, we saw this stock skyrocket. And actually, funny enough, the RSI was actually well over 70, and even on that really crazy day that we had, RSI was just about at the 90 percentile mark. So that's relatively high to have a breakout. But nonetheless, I do want to point out we are only just about at, I think it's like 48.71 on the RSI scale right now. But the biggest thing is we have this tail whip here. And the tail whip momentum is pointing up. And once we get into that 50% range on the RSI scale, we can see some massive, massive moves. Of course, as this correlates with the MACD crossover, the RSI picking up, and of course, just large institutional buyers stepping into the game. So that's really good to see. Of course, we will wait to see exactly what happens. And like I said, that $40 range is our next resistance point on the charts. And this also coincides with this downward trending red line that I have right here. So this could really insinuate a breakout if we can pass that $40 range in the next day or two. So of course, we will keep our eyes out on that and see how that plays out. So just want to go over and start with Citadel Securities. Now, of course, any of the data that I covered today does not change anything about our thesis on AMC stocks. We're not calling dates. We're not throwing out price predictions. Of course, we can estimate things every single day, but if someone is giving you a hard, firm date that AMC is going to squeeze on, don't listen to them because no one truly knows. So anyways, with Citadel Securities, I hope you all can see this, but take my word for it if you can't. We have total assets, and this is as December 31st, 2020, and all of the US dollars are in millions. So the total assets, we have $71 million in assets, but now we jump down to their liabilities, which are things that you have to pay back if you don't know what a liability is. Total liabilities equate to $67,855,000. So what does that mean? Guys, the liabilities that Citadel Securities has almost outweighs their assets. Not quite yet, but the biggest thing to keep into consideration is this was as of December 31st, 2020. as you know, we have seen other financial statements come out, and Citadel Securities is heavily under stress, guys. And of course, we're going to get into NSCC-005, go over what this is. And this is just going to add more stress onto these hedge funds who are already in very, risky positions. So, of course, I have been saying whales have been stepping in. And the big thing is, guys, we have to follow the money and where this is going. So this is the institutional ownership changes 13F filing for AMC Entertainment. So the institutional ownership percentage is now 25.45%. And look at this, guys. In quarter three, which quarter three only happened, or started rather, a few weeks ago, we're at $2.14 billion worth of AMC stock that has been bought, which is outstanding, guys. And comparatively speaking, on the sell side, only 143 million have actually sold. So we look back at quarter two. This was maybe, this is an estimate here, maybe 500 million. But now Q3, even at the beginning of Q3, we're up to 2.14 billion. So that means a lot of hedge funds are actually going neck and neck in this battle to really help our movement and to help AMC really hit the moon and to have that almighty mother of all short squeeze. So that's something that's really great. And of course, just gives us more sentiment as to why we continue to hold this stock, because good things are right around the corner, my friends. And of course, I say that, but I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. We are simply just following the big money here. All right, on to Ren Tech. So, of course, this is actually a very interesting piece of information here. They actually tripled their stake last quarter in AMC and even slashed their Tesla holdings by 75%. But the biggest thing is why this is important. So we're just going to jump down here. Renaissance Technology, one of the biggest and best performing hedge funds in history, more than tripled its stake in AMC Entertainment and slashed its Tesla holding by 75% in the second quarter. So the big takeaway here, guys, is this company, this hedge fund, has a lot riding on its back. So, of course, being the biggest and best performing hedge fund out there, you have to make sure that all of your new purchases fall in line, because your name is at stake if you make really bad bets. So, of course, really seeing them take such a big position in AMC means that they have some really interesting data or really high beliefs in the stock, which of course we all do. So that's just really something else that just really stuck with me and was really, really interesting to see giant hedge funds who are very well performing invest in AMC, and all the rest of the media calling us dumb money for buying and holding. We have analysts out there, I'm not going to mention any names, but who called AMC to drop to 1 penny. But of course, now we have some really big names hopping in here. So that is really good to see. And then the last thing I just want to briefly touch upon is NSCC 005. So essentially what this is, in a very brief summary, is previously you had to have collateral requirements. In the past, they were only $10,000, and this is cash. This is stone cold cash that you need to have. But they multiplied this by 10 right here, by 25 rather, and now we're up to $250,000 in cash that you have to have per NSCC member. Now, of course, many institutions and hedge funds have multiple, I would say, child companies that have NSCC accounts. So that means for every single account that they have registered with the NSCC, they have to come up with $250,000 in cash and have that on hand. Now, the biggest thing, of course, giant companies have shit tons of money. We're talking billions, guys, possibly even trillions for all I know. So, sure, you can argue all day that they can get away with this and not really have many changes happen. But the biggest thing that this is going to affect is those smaller hedge funds who are already in very risky positions, who don't really have the capital on hand. So what are they going to do? They're either A, going to have to sell some of their assets off, which isn't a great thing, to put up that cash, or they're going to have to offset their liabilities by, covering those short shares if they are in short positions, which of course is going to drive up the stock, which is then going to put immense pressure on those medium and large firm out there. So really interesting stuff. And of course, This is not going to happen tomorrow, but we're thinking implementation of this is going to be around September 11th from what we've been reading in this community. So high hopes for that. Of course, really the biggest thing, guys, is September is going to be really shaky for hedge funds. And there is a lot of stress already put on them, and new rules like this and regulations coming out are just going to add to that stress. And it's only so long that they can go, that they can kick this can down the road and get away for the shit that they're doing. But, of course, tomorrow's another day, next month's another month, and it's all going to come tumbling down at one point. All right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Peace out, enjoy the night, and tune in for the next one.